Hi, Pep Stars. Yes, you see the smile on my face. And from the title of this video, you know it's the 2024 Ability Test Review. You know I have the paper, and you know I always get the paper before everyone else. Yes, I'm the Pep specialist. We know this. All right. Before we dive into it, I must apologize. I wasn't able to connect with everyone before the examination. You know, my private practice and work really does take up a lot of my time. I was really stressed over the weekend. Whole heap of anxiety, like whole heap Jamaican term, whole heap and anxiety. It was just filled with anxiety. There was just intense preparation, and you know we have to get the work done. So that's why I didn't get to touch base. But if you're on my WhatsApp, you would have seen me just wishing you all the best in the examination. I know you guys can do it. And from the tuning into the channel, you have everything down, right? Because I always, the verbal reasoning videos that I shared, they were literally so insightful, so insightful. Um, because it's from the ministry. The ministry knows what it's gonna put on the paper. And these booklets are released. I tell you, I don't keep it as a secret to myself because it doesn't help me to keep it to a secret to myself. And when I share it and you have that knowledge and you're able to practice and work on the things that you need to work on, then it's much better for you, right? I saw students calling me and WhatsApping me last night. Students, I can't help you the night before the exam. You have to WhatsApp me months before, weeks before, so I can assist you, all right? So the performance task examination is next. One down, we have two other types of examination, the performance task and the curriculum-based test to do, right? But essentially, we have 6 more exams. It's a lot of work, grade 6 students. We have to prepare ourselves. I cannot stress enough. Please go to the performance task playlist, look at the videos, learn to unpack the writing prompt, and all that good stuff. The problem solving steps, you know, I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to use some more ministry booklets, and we're going to go through the task, but that's not what this video is for. And I know you're literally at the end of your seat waiting for me to start the review. As usual, I'm not going to give you the whole test all at once. I'm going to do from question 1 to 20. So let's get to it. Let's get to the question. And please, I want your comments. Comment and tell me how much you thought you got out of the first 20 questions, what questions you were having challenges with. Just tell me the reasoning behind everything. I've gotten feedback from some of the students that I tutor, and everyone says that it was manageable, right? Some person said it was great. I'm seeing analogy questions, a lot of logical deduction. I did that in the verbal reasoning video. If you didn't check out the verbal reasoning video, boy, oh boy. I'm telling you, I dished out everything that you needed to know. It also has artificial reasoning, artificial language, sorry. It has essential parts and classification. Those are the first set of questions. And I always tell you, the verbal reasoning part is the first part of the paper. Quantitative type questions come at the latter part. All right, so let's get to the paper. Share. Does this paper look familiar? All right, general instruction. We know that general instruction already, right? There are 40 questions on the test, you only select one correct answer. I know that's not what you want to hear. Let's get into it. Number 1, which option correctly completes the analogy in item 1 to 4? I told you how to do this with the bridge sentence and everything. I'm not going to go through that right now. You had to check out the videos, the verbal reasoning videos for the detailed explanation, right? I'm just doing it like how you would have done your test today, all right? So let's get to it. Ship is to ocean. What's the relationship between ship and ocean, right? Ships travel using the ocean as a route, right? Or ships sail on the ocean. Most straightforward, right? So what does a train travel on, right? Is it destination, passengers, locomotive? None of those. The train travels on a track, so E is the correct answer, track. Number 2, exercises to fitness as saving is to. The relationship between exercise and fitness is that when you exercise, you get fit. So if you save, what are you doing? Are you getting a bonus? Are you getting coins? Are you building wealth? Are you paying? And that's building wealth, right? Here's the answer. Barber is to hair as chef is to. Barber trims hair for his job, right? So what does the chef do for his job? Does he cook dinner? Not every chef cook dinner. Lunch, serve. No, the chef cooks food. Food is the correct answer. It's okay so far. Reggae is the music as basketball is to. Reggae is a type of music. Basketball is a type of sports. These are pretty straightforward. I didn't have any issues with these analogy questions. Nothing to time you. All right, let's move on to these questions are the classification question. Which one doesn't belong or odd one out, right? P, price, discount, cost, right? P is the same as price and is the same as cost. Discount is the odd one. Here with me, students. And number 6, movie, comedy, horror, action. Movies, the odd one out because all of these are types of movies. I'll tell you where I had to think about it a little longer than these questions. These questions are easy peasy lemon squeezy. I don't like to say easy in the exam. It was manageable. Let's use that term. So, mansion, hotel, castles. These are all larger forms of a house. House is the odd one. All right, the alphabetical order for number 8 to 10. What we do with alphabetical order is we're looking at the letter that follows, right? So we have all of these two letters, L and L. We can pay attention to those. Would L come before O? Yes. L also comes before O for this. This is not correct. Let's just eliminate this one. Method of elimination. Because L comes before O, right? This is also not correct because L comes before O, right? So it's between A and B. Plant and plaque. This looks correct so far. And we know that PL comes before PO. POINT. This looks correct. Let me just check the other one here though. That doesn't come before plant because we're looking at the Q here and Q doesn't come before N. You realize PLA, the Q doesn't come before N. So it is A. Number 9, we'll do the same thing. We're looking for the ones that are just not correct. So SAV, right, doesn't come before SAU. So this is not correct. Right? This is also not correct. It's between B and D. SAU comes before SAB. So this one looks okay so far, but let's look at the SAB words. SAV, O doesn't come before SAVA because O doesn't come before A. So this is incorrect. And I can automatically say this is incorrect because we've already eliminated everything else. This is correct. So D is the correct answer. Move on to number 10. We're doing the same thing. All of these are alphabetical order questions. That's a new category that's coming. It's basically a sequence, an alphabetical sequence. We saw this on the 2023 paper and we're seeing it now on the 2024 paper where they're actually doing alphabetical order. All right. CRI, CRI, CRI. Everything is CRI here. So we have to look at the fourth CRIT. All of them are CRIT. So we have to look at the fifth letter. And all of them are CRITI. So we're looking at the sixth letter. So critic, then critical, criticism, and critique. B looks kind of correct, but let me look at the other. Critique can't come before criticism. If you look at the fifth letter, Q doesn't come before C, so this is incorrect. Criticism, critic ends here at the sixth letter, right? So actually it was the sixth letter here. If we're looking at critique here, it would, the C would, there's nothing after the C, so it definitely needs to come before something with a letter after the C, right? So this one is not correct. Critique needs to start it, but let's look at these two now. Critique, as we said before, doesn't come before critical here. So the correct answer, as I was saying before. Yeah. Halfway through the first half of the review, students, hit the comment section. Tell me what you're thinking. Did you do the same thing in your examination? How are we feeling as a result now, knowing that these are the correct answers? Are we halfway correct? Let me know. For items 11 to 13, which is an essential part of the word in bold? Tree, that's the word in bold. Is it roots, blossom, leaves, fruit? Kind of tricky, because I know some of us were thinking leaves, but it can't be a tree. The tree won't survive without it. All right? The root is the correct answer. The root is an essential part of the tree. Without the root, the tree will not be able to survive. Let's look at swimming. What is an essential part for swimming? It is water, because without the water, we won't have anything to swim in. All right? Election. I'm wondering is because the election is coming up, they put this on. That's why I started to laugh when I saw it. An election, you definitely need any voters for the election, right? Because who's going to vote in the election, right? Definitely need voters. The essential part. You don't have to get posters. It doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily, have to be voting for a president, and you don't necessarily need a campaign, but you definitely need voters. Good so far. This is the one that I thought about a little, and then I had to think about this one. But let's look back at it. So for these, this is also another type of sequence, and they've been doing this too. I saw this in the 2023 paper. All right. So what we'll do here is organize the superlatives. So you'll have, first you start out with worse, right? This is the extreme. And then it gets worse, then it gets good, then it gets better, and then it's the best, right? So let's look for 5, 3, 1, 2, 4. 5, 3, 1, 2, 4. Correct. If there's anything that you don't quite understand, just comment and I'll try to clarify. All right. Let's look at the other one now. As I said, this is one that it's not that I don't know the order where it falls. It's just that I didn't know where they were starting with the answers. Right. So that's what I had to think about. Here's what I came up with. It is done always, and then generally, and then sometimes, and then hardly, and then never, right? So whatever is being done, it's done always. You always do it, and it's generally done. Then sometimes it's done, and then it's hardly done, and it's never done, right? So we're looking for 5, 3, 2, 4, 1, and I'm seeing the answer to be B. So now we're on to the logical deduction question. It says for items 16 and 17, read the statement in each box, then select the option that is a logical conclusion or from the statement. Mr. Ainsworth prefers to go to the market on Saturday. Before I look at the statements, in the verbal reasoning video, I said this, and even the booklet that the ministry published, the writing in the booklet stated that these logical conclusion questions are not easy to figure out. They're probably the hardest because you have to do a lot of reasoning to try to figure it. The hardest in the verbal reasoning, not the quantitative. Quantitative in maths, most of those are going to be challenging. What is the hardest in the verbal reasoning part? So we have to really read and think about it. And this question had me thinking. So let's look at the statements. Saturday is Mr. Ainsworth's favorite day of the week. Most people go to the market on Saturdays. Saturday is a more convenient day for Mr. Ainsworth. Market goods are sold cheaper on Saturday. So I'm looking back at the statements that I need to draw the conclusion for, and it says, Mr. Ainsworth prefers to go to the market on Saturday. So this is what he prefers to do, right? There are other days he could go, but he prefers to go on Saturday. Here's my reasoning. Because Saturday is his favorite day of the week, doesn't necessarily mean he wants to go to the market on that day. Most people go to the market on Saturdays. That's kind of a reason. But then I looked at the other two and it said that definitely it's C. We know that C is one of the statements, right? It's more convenient for him, right? That's why he prefers to go that day, because whatever is happening, he just might be able to go on that day. It's freer on that day for him, or whatever makes it convenient, but he can go to the market on that, right? Where it says market goods are sold cheaper on Saturday, that might literally want to be the answer, right? So we were kind of tugging between B, C, D, right? But here's my reason. Let's look back at the instruction. It said, read the statement in the box. This is the box here. Then select the option that is a logical conclusion to draw from the statement. So I can say logical means it makes sense, right? And conclusion is something that we're arriving at based on what we've read. So if Mr. Ainsworth prefers to go to the market on Saturday, more than likely Saturday is the more convenient day for Mr. Ainsworth. So I'm definitely going with C. All right. Let's look at this one now. Most doctors practice healthy eating habits. Let's look at the statements that follow. All doctors eat healthy on a regular basis. That's not necessarily true. It is likely that doctors eat healthy. I'm also going favorite. This is the one that I'm thinking. So I'm just putting a tick beside it. Many persons who eat healthy become doctors. This is so not true. And then a doctor should encourage patients to eat healthy. So we know that not all doctors eat healthy. So we can eliminate A and C. Here's the deal with D now. Yes, doctors should encourage patients to eat healthy, but it doesn't tie in with this statement here, right? It's not a conclusion that can be drawn from this statement that most doctors practice healthy eating habits. This has nothing to do with patient. So the correct answer is B, right? It is likely that doctors eat healthy because they're encouraging us to eat healthy. So it's likely that they will also know for themselves, eat healthy. So we have 3 more questions to go. Or rather 2. We just finished that one. Let's look at let's look at 18. For item 18, read the statements and the 3 inferences in the boxes, then select the option that represents the inference or inferences that can be drawn from the statement. An inference is something that is implied and that based on this implication, we can draw a particular conclusion, right? So let's look at the statement. The recommended age for children to start learning to swim is age 1. Inference 1, this is a good age for children to start developing water safety habits. Inference 2, after age 1, learning to swim may be more difficult for a child. Inference 3, swimming lessons are more expensive for children older than 1 year old. Already marking this one up. Doesn't really make. All right, that's not a fun. So we're between inference 1 and 2. The recommended age for children to start learning to swim is age 1. This is a good age for children to start developing water safety habits. I can agree with this statement. It might not necessarily be that it's difficult for the child to learn to swim. Many of us learn to swim after age. All right. I'm going with A, only inference 1, but I'm also checking if there's 1 and 2. And I'm not seeing anything where just 1 and 2, so it's definitely 1, right? So A is the correct answer. Almost there. Item 19, so it's actually 3 questions. Why did I make that error? Yes, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ooh, still a bit anxious, even though I'm anxious to do the second half, but we are not gonna get the second half in this video, right? You have to stay tuned the next, right? Yes, that's how it works. Item 19 and 20 have words from an artificial language and their meaning. Use them to answer each question. And we deduce the artificial languages in the video. I keep referring to the video because I want to point out that I've done literally all of these questions in the verbal review. So if you had watched that, I know that you would be, this would be very easy for you, right? So you'd be literally halfway there. I wanted to do a quantitative reasoning video. And I was just swamped with my private classes and I wasn't feeling the best for the last couple of days. I'm literally feeling the best tonight. How ironic. I'm just glad that I was able to do the review and I'm feeling much better. What can we use here? I won't pay attention to everything else because I'm just looking for walk, right? So walk here, based on what I'm seeing here, P-O-E-N. I tell you about spelling, we should spell these words. So I'm looking for an answer with P-O-E-N in it. And I've seen these two answers, right? How do I know it's not A? It's because I looked and I saw this word in it, which is S-P-I-E-L, and that means cup. So that would be walk up. So that's not correct. Correct answer is C. And finally, what does mez, M-E-H-Z means in this language? I'm only seeing it in one word, and that word means ambulance, right? So I can look for the other words. Police means top. It's not police. And fire means it's not M-E-H-Z. It's not in this word. It's not fire. Here was where I was thinking. I wondered if it was emergency. But then I saw that this also was in this word here. It was in all of these other words. I'm just wondering, emergency probably has something to do with shin top or top shin, right? But the only one that has any relationship to medical is an ambulance. So I kind of just went with this based on that reason. I don't think it's emergency. All of these are, we know that all of these are emergency vehicles, the fire engine, the police car, and the ambulance, right? But emergency is not synonymous with just ambulance. All of these are emergency vehicles. But this is the only one that's a medical emergency vehicle. So I'll go with medical. So there you have it. That's the first half of the 2024 ability testing. And I can really say that it was manageable. There are probably 2 or 3 questions that I had to think a little about. But pretty much everything else was okay. The analogy was okay. The sequencing were okay. The essential part was okay. The only thing I thought about was one of the artificial language question and the logical. And as I said, logical deduction, it just takes a little bit more reason. But yes, there you have it. That's the first half of the ability test 2024 ability test paper. Tell your friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that I done the review. And you all should watch it. And comment and let me know, how did you do in your examination based on what I just reviewed. And part 2 is coming up very, very soon. You do not want to miss that. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you are updated when that video is released. And I got to cover for performance task. But in the meantime, before I put out a new video for performance task, do go through the videos on the performance tab that are already on the channel. They're very, 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 very helpful. I use the booklets from the ministry. Students, I'm dissecting and giving you all the things that you're probably not getting at your school. I can't say not entirely, but more than likely. So you want to watch those videos. You want to keep informed through the channel and recommend your friends. I have all the PEP students. What are you doing? Why are you not subscribed as yet? Do the right thing. I'll see you in part 2 of the ability test video.